Greetings, greetings, greetings. In case you haven't heard, I am your King number one. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the village. Welcome to the village, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the village. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Oh, Lord, have mercy. That's all I can say. How many of you have had another one of those weeks that was an action-packed week where you barely had a free moment? But guess what? It was a blessed week, right? Oh, welcome to the village. Welcome to the village, everybody. Oh, glory, hallelujah. Oh, as you all know, I just sat my body down. Literally, I promise you, I just sat my body down. Welcome to the village. Welcome to the village. Yes, I'm going to sit today and stream because I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired. Glory, hallelujah. And why do people always start calling as soon as they see me on the live stream? I know you see me. What do you want? What do you want? Call me back when I stop streaming. Oh, 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 yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, yes, I need you today, Jesus. I need you, Jesus. I need a little more Jesus. Hey, cousin Linda Brown, welcome to the village. It's a family affair, everybody. Come on in, come on in. We got a lot to talk about today, and I promise you, you will be glad you tuned in today. Welcome to the village, everybody. Welcome. Come on and hit me with your best shot. I'm going to need y'all to fire away today. I'm going to need y'all to jump right in with your input. And Alex, though, I'm going to need you to call in. You know so much about dogs and things of that nature. And then we're going to get down to the nitty gritty of talking about Dr. Dre. Should he take care of his adult child? Not jump right in when the time comes. But let's get off the ground. Let's get off the ground. Glory, hallelujah. Love back at you, man. Oh, yes, Lord. Oh, I am here. I have arrived. Ah, you know how sometimes you don't think you're going to make it. I promise you, Marvin Saps, I never would have made it. I never would have made it. But by the grace of God, I'm here. Amen. Oh, let me tell y'all something. Yeah, didn't I tell y'all I was going to be having me a hot girl summer? I don't know how to act, y'all. I've been walking and trying to get myself together, and I am really enjoying my life. And if you out there and you of age and you have raised your children, they are adults, and you out here figuring your way, enjoy yourself. Don't you dare let nobody stop you from being the best you can be. Be the best you can be. You ain't hurting nobody, and it ain't never hurt nobody for you to be the best you unless they hate us, right? Okay, let's move on. Oh, let me get some water. I am really just having one of them days. I promise y'all, sometimes I sit in this seat and I don't even get a chance to take a sip of water. Woo! Jesus, take the wheel. I think I can use another sip. Let me tell y'all something. This isn't a sponsor, but if you haven't tried this water, this is strawberry fruit too. It's good. As you know, I drink a lot of water. I love water. I am that type of person that love to hydrate the body because the body cleanses from the inside out. And when you drink water, it cleanses you from the inside out, especially your organs. But let's get into this topic. Let us pray. Jesus, I talk to you every day, several times a day, and I discuss this topic with you, Lord. I don't know why you assigned me to love children and elders so much, but I stand up in it, Lord, and I'm grateful. because many are called, but few are chosen. And I'm so proud to be chosen. And Lord, I hope I do you proud as I push into this live stream with this topic. Father, let your will be done, not my will, but your will. And Father, touch the families and fix it. And Father, give us understanding in everything. Let us not be judging, but let us be able to understand what could have taken place and help someone else from going through the same experience. Lord, we love you and we thank you in advance. In your Son, Jesus' name, amen. Amen, everybody. I want to send a special shout out to Blue Jeans Network and Culture. Thank you so much. I missed your celebration the other day. I was on a conference call and it took way longer than I expected, but I watched the playback and enjoyed the whole entire celebration. But I was honored to see that y'all chose me as consistency in live stream as your winner on your channel. And I just want to say I'm honored and I'm thankful to even have been nominated for my live stream. I do put my heart and passion into what I do here. Thank you. Zoe Cable, Black Pearl, John Brown, William, Al Ara, just a few of the guys that support me behind the scenes. Thank you. And also to the truth. Thank you for all you do. And thank you for all that send me cash apps as well as gifts through the mail. I'm honored. But I'm just as honored for all of you that just support. I'm not materialistic, even though I love nice things. But just show love, and that's all I ask. So thank you all for your support. Who's to blame when a child is left with other children? A 19-month-old was allegedly left at home by the father during his visitation as he went to work, allegedly, with his, I believe it was an 11-year-old and 7-year-old child. Some kind of way, I don't know what went wrong. They had a big Rottweiler dog in the house. And it's alleged that the Rottweiler attacked the baby. I don't know exactly what was the reason at this time. If I find out later, I will update you all. But he attacked the child, and the child expired as a result of it. The father has been arrested, and we're waiting to see exactly what the results of that would be. Greetings and welcome to the village, Sissy. Thank you for coming in. And if you have been following me, you know that my neighbors across the street have two big Rottweilers, and they're constantly letting them out by themselves to walk themselves. And I like to sit on the front and get some air just like everyone else sometimes. And there have been many days I have literally been ran into my home because these dogs will come across the street and the owner is in the house somewhere. And when he comes out, he'll look with this smirk on his face because I run in the house as if, oh yeah, look, she ran in. And I think he gets joy out of the fact that I'm frightened by his dogs, right? And I'm upset with myself because I keep asking God, why do I fear these animals? Because I'm not supposed to have the spirit of fear because I have this faith, right? But, you know, I guess I have to continue to die in the flesh in some areas. So let's get back into what took place. The child, someone did get help. 911 did arrive. They was able to grab the child and put it in the ambulance. But the child did not make it. Animal control was called in to obtain the dog, and the dog has been taken over to animal control. I'll update you if I find anything further that happened with that. And basically, it's alleged that the children were saying that the dog was has done this before. He has been another child in the house in the past from Alice's dog. The father is liable. Under no circumstance should you leave a large aggressive dog alone with small children. The children will try to establish the dominance because the children can't fight him off. I agree. Oh no, Sister Sweetie Pie. Yes, this is really sad, guys. Y'all know I love kids and I don't like to see anything happen to anybody's children. And I can't even imagine as a mother. We haven't even mentioned the mother, guys. Just imagine you say, okay, he got visitations. I'm worried about that big old dog over there. But now do you think you're going to get that call that the dog has mauled your child? As a parent, as a mom, I don't know what I would do. I always dread those type of calls, guys. Oh my goodness. I know there's a few mothers out there that's going to say, you are so right. Because as mommy bears, we are protective. My girls are grown and they know I'm still protective of them. Don't mess with my cubs. I am the ultimate mama bear. You hear me? You want to take me off, mess with one of my babies. You can say what you want about me. I got thick skin. When you start messing with my babies, you done barked up the wrong tree. And this bear get ready to come on out. Yes, the body was pronounced DOA. Yes, it's so sad. Right. Finn. Okay. Alex, it was a typo. I figured that. I agree, Alex, from Sweetie Pie. Yes, totally agree, Alex. From Linda. Blessings to the family. Yes, Sweetie Pie. My prayers go out. I'm with you, Linda. It's so heartbreaking to see this happen to somebody. How do you let this happen? I want to say this because I spoke with several people, and I'm going to have you call in a minute, Alex, because I know that some of you may not know, but Alex trained animals, and Alex has so much awareness when it comes to animals. And I want to just break some things down to people who may not be familiar with the characteristics of a dog and animals and things of that nature. Just Linda, she said she cried. That's me. I am such a compassionate person and I will cry. I don't have to know the people. I will sit here and bawl because I love my kids and I can't even imagine. And whenever I see something happen to somebody's kids, I don't know why something in my head say that could have been your kid. That could have been anybody's kid. Oh, and sometimes when you get a court order for a visitation and there's some things at the other parent house that you may not like, you have no control. You have no control. You have to surrender that child to the parent, whether they got a wolf in the house, right? And it's unfortunate, but it's true. From Alex, when an aggressive dog is around an adult, that they seem to be the alpha of the pack, they're less likely to attack because the adult has established that they're the true alpha. Hold on, Alice. Hold on, because these are the things I want you to call in and explain. So that if someone don't know the personality of aggressive animals, they will understand. Give me 1 second. And because I want to explain something to the people first. Sometimes when we are parents and we have to work, right? Childcare is so expensive, and there's very little help sometimes, depending on the type of job you have financially to assist with childcare. So, meanwhile, you have this child that you children even you need to get a babysitter for, and you can't afford it. So sometimes you get stuck saying, "Jesus, take the will, please protect my kids," and you go to work. And if the father was actually at work trying to provide for his children and family, and may not could have afforded a babysitter, I ask God to have mercy. Because I find it a little different if you're running the street partying and hanging out or getting your life, and you out there trying to provide for your family, and you may have made a bad decision, and a desperate decision. I stand in some truth. There's times when my children were small and I had to take risks, guys, and leave my kids home and pray and say, God, let them be safe. Please, Lord, cover them in the blood of Jesus and protect them until I get back home. I can't afford to be chipping out money to give people all the time because I need to go to work. There's a difference in you need to go to work and it's a half a day of school and you don't have no one to keep your children, but you can't afford to take the day off. This happened. This is why I'm not just going to beat this man down because I really know the whole situation of what's going on. But just the fact that he works and he has his children, it gives him a little bit of, mercy that, okay, the man was allegedly working. He's a working man. He's out there trying to provide for his family. So it's so unfortunate that this took place. And I just hope that if he was a decent dad that just happened to make a bad decision, that the judge will have mercy and help assist him in obtaining child care so that he will be able to work and also make a safe haven for his children. And going forward, if there's any people that's watching this on the playback and you may be in this same situation, please, please, please reach out and try to find child care for your children. It's unfortunate that many times the system will wait for something tragic to happen before they will try to assist you with free child care. Somebody say amen if you know where I'm coming from. Alex, will you please call in because I need you to express some things when it comes to the characteristics of animals, dominance, what some precautions can be for people out there that may need the awareness. Sometimes people get animals because they like animals, and they have no idea how vicious these animals can be. Greetings, welcome to the village. Hey, Alex. Hey, everybody, this is Alex, though. Hold on, let me read Linda's comment. It's a good thing the other children ran out because the dog could have went for them too. And you know something, because that's so true, because we was talking about that also. We said it's a good thing that other kids didn't try to stop the dog. Because sometimes, as siblings, we're protective of our siblings. We'll try to run and get the dog. And a good thing they were smart enough to go get help and they didn't try to stop that dog. I am an adult, and if I see a dog attacking, I'm I'm gonna go get help. I'm not equipped to fight no dog. I don't know what to do. I'll shoot it before. Well, I'm not gonna say that on here, but I can't fight dogs, guys. But you're so correct. We are so blessed that those other children were not mauled, and we're so blessed that they were able to get inside and obtain the dog without anyone else being injured. Alex, though, I know that you are very experienced in the area of animal care, animal training, and just familiarize us with the characteristic of an aggressive dog. Can you define what an aggressive dog is? Tell us. Welcome to the village, James. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Stop there. Because we talked about that as well. Sometimes, parents leave the animal out and home because they leaving small children home alone and they figure, okay, we have a security dog to protect the children. They don't ever think this dog is going to attack the child. They're thinking, okay, I got small kids. I'm leaving them in the house by themselves. I'll leave the dog loose in case someone try to come in. The dog can be protection. And I do believe the father did not expect this to happen. Continue, Alex.
Yeah, so legally, they only charge them with manslaughter. I mean, we just shot a 25 life if he don't have a criminal record. However, that's still going to disrupt the family. But based on the information that they provided, that the dog hit one of the other kids 2 years ago, that he should have had an idea that that's the home with the little kids. The dog was trying to establish confidence. It's the difference when a dog is around a person and a dog already assuming based on the owner's past behavior that they can't do certain things around them or get away with certain things around them. So you will see a different dog around their actual owner. They know that they're not the boss of that house. A little kid, let's say from 19-year-old, somebody hit the swing and somebody 11. That dog already made his mind up. I'm the boss here. And the aggressive dog can be triggered off by anything. If there's no one around that he knows that stopping them with the same amount of force that he has should he decide to act out.
Okay, hold on. Welcome to the Village Means at Cubs Den. And I want to send another shout out. I want to send a shout out to my nephew, Donnell Brandon. I want to send a shout out to my niece, Fifi. And I want to send a shout out to my niece, Tasha, in the heavens. Yesterday was her birthday. Happy birthday, Tasha. And I want to send another birthday shout out to a young man that I grew up with in Brooklyn named Luki. He was like a little brother to me. He went to the heavens for so happy birthday, Luki. I got another nephew coming in the house right now. Happy birthday, Blue Jeans. Blue Jeans, you know how to have a celebration. You hear me? I watched that playback and I partied like a rock star. I had me a good time. Y'all know Auntie love a good party. I was so mad I missed that party. But I'm going to get back into topic now. But thank you all for coming in. Alex, the thing that I want to ask you is to explain some things about when a dog is going to attack. Because, see, this is something I've learned, guys. There are signs that you can see on a dog that he is going to attack. And
Well, some of those signs are textbook signs. The look in the eyes, the constant stare, the racing, the growling, the position of the tail, its movement, let's be fair. Sometimes animals like me are unpredictable. It's just like you have children in the house and tell them don't do something. They won't do it. If you say, I'm going to the store, don't play in this house, they'll say, okay. 5 minutes pass, they playing in the house. But you know, home, if you tell them go in the room and watch TV, they're going right in that room to watch TV. They're not going to do anything else.
okay, hold on 1 second. Thank you for the super chat, super chat, super chat. Thank you for the super chat at Blue Jeans Network. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, go ahead.
Animals have a tendency to act out in that capacity because there is someone in the home that's already established dominance. And without that person being available, and the dog establishes his dominance, like, okay, I'm the boss now, everybody gets a place.
I want to talk to you about
Parents
something.
that young don't know how to look at the movements and attitudes of a dog and figure out that they are no longer in the blind state. You have to understand this.
Right, and another thing I wanted to express with is sometimes when children are playing with animals, especially a 19-month-old or small child, they don't know when they may hurt that animal or they may do something to trigger the animal. And how do you feel about parents allowing their children to play with the family dog that is a Rottweiler or a pit bull, aggressive animals that can also be so cute and playful, but when aggressive, they can be lethal. How do you feel about that? And that goes for anybody. I want to ask you something else. I want to. See this? Wow. I want to ask you something else. Dealing with a child or children, and you do have a big aggressive animal. How do you introduce that animal in the family? Like, how do you? Okay, say you may have children and they're staying with their mother, and you may have a Rottweiler, and then you bring your children into the home. You finally got your visitations, and you're able to see your children, and you have a baby, and the baby probably is getting a whole lot more attention because it is the baby. We know in every family. See, and I want to talk to people about these things because sometimes we don't even think about stuff like that. When we bring the baby home, the animal may get a little jealous. Like, oh, I've been the one that's been getting all the love and attention, and now this baby is getting away with everything and getting in everything, and wait till he leaves. I'm going to get that. So you have to be careful. You have to be so careful. Okay, I want to ask another question. Say, for example, you have a dog in the house, and the dog attacked someone in the house. What should you do? Okay, so say, for example, if there's somebody out there and they have a dog in the house, and the dog attacks someone in the house, what should they do? Like, what should they do? Should they run out the house? Should they call for help? Like, what should they do to try to get control? Okay, so we can agree, run, get help. Don't try to stop the dog. Yes, do not try to stop the dog, especially if you do not have the proper training. Now, this is something else we talked about last night as we discussed this topic. Someone said to use a firearm, but if a dog is attacking a child and you use a firearm, now you're putting the child at risk also for being exposed to the firearm. So that can be very risky if you don't know what you're doing. And also make the dog more aggressive if you miss and make it even more violent and vicious. So if you see the dog attacking, try to get help. If it's any kind of way you can get in another room with the other kids, get out of that way of that dog. Absolutely.
adults that can stop it if they just are only strong whenever somebody touches them.
Let me tell you something. I have seen dogs attack people. And honey, it is no joke. I seen somebody sick their horse dog on somebody. What they call them, Great Danes. Sick
Great
that Great Dane tore that man up. You hear me? That man had no wins, and he wasn't a small man. But honey, that dog got a hold of him. He was dragging that man literally. You hear me? So I don't play when it comes to animals. As y'all know, if you've been following me a while, the queen don't do animals. Period. You want a pet in here, you might want to, get me a stuffed animal. You will see stuffed animals all over this home, and that's the closest I'm going to get to a pet. You hear me? I am the pet. Come pet me. But as far as no,
sorry that the situation happened like that, but I can kind of see what the man was doing. Okay, everybody is supposed to be on hard times. I still got to get out here and make this shit. I got to go here watch the house. My thing is this: if the dog bit one of the other kids 2 years ago, I
he
would
had to go.
get dressed in how to deal with the situation, and the dog just got away with it. Now he killed his own owner. But if the dog did bite somebody 2 years ago, then maybe you should explore another option for child care. I know at times it's easier said than done, but sometimes you have to think outside of the box. He knew his dog that he could get that hole that broke come home to him. And his
Oh,
baby is
Jesus, yes, that's the truth. You at work and you get a call and you getting locked up.
someone that would murder, they're going to charge
Manslaughter just as bad.
you get up to 12 and a half to 25 for that.
Hello? I'm going to share something with y'all. Yes. Let me tell you something that a lot of people don't know, right? Because I've never wanted animals. And my firstborn, Miss Honey, she always used to whine. She wanted a pit bull. And someone at my job, pit bull, had puppies. And no. My ex bought a pit bull puppy off of someone. That's what it was. And he brought the dog home. And I said, okay, they want the dog. And it was such a cute little puppy, right? And at first, I wasn't scared of him either. I was like, well, maybe I can get accustomed to a dog. And we had this dog in the house for about 2 or 3 months. And I'm telling you, I was kind of falling for the little cute dog, right? And I was doing my little training as much as I knew to do. You can't go in the kitchen. Stop at the end of the carpet and sit down. And it was kind of, doing the right thing. One day a cousin came over. Lino, welcome to the dinner, Lino. Thank you for coming in. Shout out to my Philippines. And all you need to know, long story short, the dog was still a puppy, but it was about maybe 4 months. And if you know anything about a pit bull, about 4 months they start to get a little, strip to them. If it was that old, I don't even think it was quite 4 months. And long story short, my little cousin came over and she kept bothering the puppy, and we kept saying, leave him, leave him, leave him. And she kept bothering him, and he ran in the room and he ran up underneath the bed trying to hide from her. She lifted the bed up, guys, and she went in there. I'm in the kitchen cooking, and her mom, we talking, and we don't know that she done chased the dog in the room and lift the bed up to go grab the puppy. And he bit her. He bit her, guys. And we were so lucky that it wasn't worse. He bit her and she let him go and he ran back under the bed. I got rid of the dog. I gave the dog to someone that worked, that family knew how to handle the dog, because I didn't want anyone children to be bit by my dog. And I was sad because my daughter loved this dog. But the dog had to go. You're chewing people up already. I felt so bad. Yes. But I'm constantly around children. I am a grandmother. I am a godmother. Yes, he was a father. Yes, the person I gave the dog to wound up having to give the dog to someone else, and they made him a junkyard dog because the dog was so, aggressive. And the point that I'm making, guys, is if you see that and you have a family full of children, as much as you may love that animal, you have to let that animal go. I can't have you mowing down people.
They don't know how to fight the dog. They don't know how to put the dog, get the dog obedience training, command training, nothing. How many times you see somebody walking the dog and the dog walking real dragging them all over the place? That's an untrained dog. How many times you see somebody calling their dog and the dog is up? That's an untrained dog. All of these is signs for ingredient or a problem.
And another thing, you have to teach your children this too, because I've seen this happen. If you are feeding the dog, do not go and touch the dog bowl or their water or their food. You don't touch the dog items when they're eating because I've seen kids get attacked. You over here minding your business eating, and here comes a kid trying to grab the dish, and the next thing you know, the dog done bit him. And adults too, they can fight. So you have to teach your children before you even bring pets into the home. Safety rules, things that you don't do. You can do something to, right, but it's imperative that children know some of these things that can be a trigger. I remember one time the little dog tried to bark back at me with some aggression, right? And even though I got a little bit scared, nobody was home. I had to bark up, right? And I said, "You better go sit down somewhere." And he ran on back. Yeah, he ran. I said, "Who you barking at? You better go in there and sit down." And he took off running. But I said to myself, "Oh, this dog here is going to be something." And when I told my boyfriend, I said, "That dog tried to buck up." He just laughed. And he said, "What did you do?" And I told him, and he just laughed. But knowing what I know today, he should have went and shook his finger in that dog's face. You don't buck up at her. You got the dog. Okay, Niecy.
But the way things are now, we probably figure I still have to take care of them. So let me go on. He probably put the room on one to another now.
Right.
That's why I think by unpredictability, you never know when it's going to happen.
And prevent certain things, people, and you don't have to cure. Always remember precaution and preventions because sometimes we do have to take a risk and leave our kids home. We don't have the finances, and childcare is expensive. And you got three children at that. So I'm not here to bash him because I don't know what happened. But I want to say, Dad, I hope everything worked out for you. And to the mom, we send our loving virtual hugs over to you also. Because as a mom, I couldn't even fathom getting that call. But we're going to move on from this topic, guys, because we have another topic that's just as serious. And some of you may know the music producer that is a billionaire, and he goes by the name of Dr. Dre. And Alice, hold on, because I'm going to need some input from you with this also. And His daughter is allegedly homeless, living out of her car. And so many people in the public had decided, how can a billionaire see his child homeless living out of her car and not rescue her and give her a place to live and pay her bills and, be that father that steps up and take care of his daughter. So the question that I want to ask you all is, should Dr. Dre rescue his daughter? And if he should, why do you think he should? And if he should not, why do you think he should not? Put it in the chat. And as y'all do that, the question that I want to ask you, Alex, do you think that Dr. Dre is responsible to take care of his adult daughter during her demise?
Well, I look at it like this. As a parent, we always feel that we are somewhat still responsible for a child regardless of how old they are. I don't share the same opinions. If he was giving her every day, taking care of her, she didn't have to want for nothing. And then she just wakes up and like she's taking care of him, he told her to work, and he told her to get out and don't come back in the room. And she did something to wake out for herself. She's not underage. She's an adult. If you want to get whatever you want, whatever you wanted, and now all of a sudden you just got cut off, you have to deal with that. Showing no appreciation, doing always something. And a lot of people say, oh, but that's still his child, he can take care of it. I wouldn't take care of it. You want to show your behind, that can defend. All you want to do is take care of you and stuff. You don't want to listen, pay attention, get out. I would do the same thing. Don't want about the business, don't come back to the truth. Some people say, look, I want to tell them a lesson, but I'll let them come back. No, you don't wait till the need to start feeling yourself. I'm taking care of you, and I don't mind some people want.
Okay, let me read a comment before you go any further. I see that Sweetie Pie said, well, I feel he should help her with something. I know she is grown, but he can help with something. Okay, I'm going to be fair. I'm going to give y'all both a chance because I like when y'all don't always agree. Sweetie Pie, why do you feel he should help with something? And what are some things he could help with? Because you put that in the chat as Alex go on. Okay, Alex.
I'm the man is never like the hand that needs you. You living in my house, I'm taking care of you, paying for everything, giving you everything, and something simple as she's your side of the house plan. I ain't got no mercy on the room. Always telling me what to do. Get out.
As y'all see, Alex is definitely tough love. He definitely is that parent that you're going to be on the straight and narrow. And I'm a little bit like that. I think I have just a slight little bit more mercy than Alex. But Alex comes from a strong hand, and he comes from where you have the proper order. And before we go any further, I want to say this also, so that we can be clear on a few things, because I'm always stern on being clear. There is a difference between a dependent child and an adult child. And a dependent child is a child that's underage that you are responsible for by law, because they're still in the age window that the parent is the provider. But an adult child has crossed that age of dependency and is in adulthood. So for me, when you go into adulthood, it's optional if the parent wants to provide for you. And if they want to provide for you, there's nothing wrong with that. But if they decide they do not want to provide for you, there's nothing wrong with that either. I am a very good parent, but I will not cripple my children by making them think that I'm going to always save them whenever they mess their money up and do not do what they need to do to function in society when they have the means to do it. So with that being said, no, I'm not going to sit up here and keep paying your bills and taking care of you. You're a grown woman. I don't care if I have money stacked from the floor to the ceiling. That's not for me to bail you out every time you drop the ball and don't pay your bills or do something you need to do. And I want to say this before I pass the mic back to Alex. If a father is not helping his daughter, there's a reason why. I'm a daddy's girl. And there's nothing in this world my dad wouldn't do for any of his children in the means of God's will if he had the ability to do it. But at the same time, my dad didn't take no foolishness neither. And you wasn't going to be disrespectful. And you wasn't going to just sit up here and mess up your money every month because you got a daddy that pay and bail you out. He'll pay in a time or two, but after that, he's going to tell you, all right now, you better buckle down. It's my last time. I'm not coming back over here and bailing you out. And he might do it a time or two more. But I can promise you, eventually, he's going to shut that wallet on your tail for a while. And it's nothing wrong with showing your children tough love and making them dependable. So now I'm going to pass the mic back to you, Alex.
Well, I love opinions. I believe that that girl did something. And he was consoling you, giving you everything, taking care of everything, to just, I don't want nothing else to do with you. You go, don't come here, don't call me. How do you get to that point? And at one point, you was just giving the love. I don't believe he just took it away from her. It don't work like that. I don't know what actually happened, but I'm sure that something happened.
Right.
Nobody rolling the red carpet out for you on one day saying, you know what, I don't want nothing else to do. You had to do something. You had to do it more than one time to get her all the way off like that.
And I want to say this to adults out here, and this goes for men and women alike, because I see this all too often. You grown. Get out there and get it out the blood. You hear me? Stop waiting on your parents. And let me tell you something else. A lot of times when your parents are dating and dealing with somebody in the streets, they already digging down deep enough in their pocket. They don't need nobody else begging and coming around looking for a handout. I promise you, I don't care how much money you got, your money is invested some kind of way. You understand where I'm coming from? I'm not getting ready to keep paying my kids rent, and they know I'm not. Now you fall on hard times and you need a little help, and you come and say, well, Mom, I'm going through this and I need a little help. I'll pray and say, well, God, give me the means to help my babies. But every week here you come with a situation, the devil is a liar. You better go figure it out. And people may sit and say, that's a shame. The queen sitting over there and want all that money and won't help her child. And you know what I say to people like that? You give them some money or mind your business.
Not be productive. They will become your lifelong responsibility. You're going to take care of everything. You go from helping them out to doing it all by yourself. I don't mind helping, but if I step in to help, let's not sit all the way down and be doing everything. Wake up and find yourself by yourself.
You better know it. Sweetie Pie said, that's right. I had to figure it out, and I did. And she said, you're right. You never know how many times he did help her. And that's the things that we have to look at. We can't just say that man is a billionaire. He can get her place to live off the interest that comes from his money.
Just don't make that out. You are loved in the wrong way several times. It's hard to do that. By the time you at that point, you say, this is going to work best. That's going to be all the work. It's hard to make that decision. But if you finally was pushed to that point, like I said, she did something. And she did more than one thing. She got gave me parents, but I don't know many of them that just say, you know what, I'm done. When you get to that point, you're going to know your mind.
I was very young when I got my first place. But I'm going to tell you something else. When I moved out, I thought I was grown, right? I was a teenager out getting my own place for the first time. I think I'm grown. Ain't nobody telling me what to do. But I can remember one of the conversations I had with my mom, and she told me, she said, "Hey, I'm not going to make you not go on in life. You want your own, you got your own." She said, "But all I can say is pay your bills and keep food on the table, because I'm not going to be picking up your problems every time you fall." And my mama tell you, from that day to today, she ain't never paid my rent. She ain't never paid my bills, and she ain't never put no food on my table. And I'm not going to knock anybody that have been in that situation, because things happen. And she may not have done it, but there have been times when I will say, "Daddy," because you know you can always sneak to Daddy, right, behind mommy back and be like, "Please don't tell Daddy I did that." But you know, okay, I did do that a couple of times. But he told me too, he said, "I'm going to help you, but you better pay your bills. You better get there and pay them bills and do what you got to do, because I'm not going to keep paying your bills. But where that no good man at? Let me talk to him and let him know."
Because he's got all that money and he has his style, it don't make a difference what she did, how she just be respectful, how she was expensive, that he should just take care of it anyway because that's still his child. With me, the I can have it too. If you don't earn it, you don't deserve it, you don't get it. You just another slave in the street. When I was rolling the red carpet out for you, you had to walk with nothing. If something made you decide to show your behind, if you bend the hand and beat you, go get your own man.
Hey, and what my daddy used to tell me, you bet not have no good man laying up in here not handling his business. If he can lay down, he can help out. Because I'm not getting ready to take care of your man.
But parents are there to take care of you. You can't do for yourself. You're a minor. You're a child. That's where parenthood comes in at. Although that's not the end of parenthood. But I don't firmly believe is that it's not your parents' job to take care of you for the rest of their life. In some cases, you have some people that believe that. So that's what parents are for. Parents are to take care of you if you can't do it for yourself. When you become a teen and you can get out there and function in a society and establish a way of taking care of you, then that becomes your job. You have people that even tell you, "Oh, that's the grandparents or my kid kids need, so you're supposed to do that." No, I'm not supposed to do anything if I feel like doing it. I can do it or I will do it. I'm not obligated to do anything. That's your job now.
And let's not forget this part. You got children and grandchildren that never call and just say, "Hey, I thought about you today," or what you doing? I want to stop by and see you for a little while. But honey, the time they down on their luck, here they come. "Can I live here? You got a couple of hours? I'll need a ride. My car broke down." What you calling me for? I haven't heard from you in a month of Sundays. Now you down on your behind. Here you come. So you have to be mindful, even when things are good, to keep a good communication with your family. You can't come running up when something done went bad. Now here you come with your tail talk. "No, I need help." What you doing here? You don't come here. You don't call here. You don't even say how you doing.
I don't care what it is. I'm not going to point fingers. And then tell you, depending on what the situation is, I might. But most of the time, I don't have a relationship with you. Go about the business. I go about mine. I don't have to work on it. But you're not going to feel benefit unless you feel like I don't get you for years, and all of a sudden I need some help. But I wish you the best.
And I'm gonna say this to everybody: a father got feelings too. A man have feelings too. Because I talk to a lot of men. Y'all know I am about men. I have a lot of men friends. And the one thing that they all say in common in different settings is they want to feel appreciated, not feel like they're a human ATM machine. The only time they hear from their family. And not just their kids, their mama, their brother, their sister, their cousin. It's when somebody is down on their luck, and now all of a sudden they can remember, ooh, I know who to call, but they always keep a little piece of change. The devil is a liar. Don't you call around here. I got it, but I ain't got it. Now,
I don't understand this. Who has the mindset that you're still obligated to take care of yourself?
they feel entitled because you got so many people when they come from a financially comfortable backing and they so used to not having to do anything and want for anything, they begin to become entitled. And I love celebrities especially that are very financially stable, but they usher their children into independence by teaching them how to become their own entrepreneurs or go out there and find a job and things of that nature, and not just sit back and depend on someone to keep paying your bills or letting you live here free. At some point, you need to take on some responsibility. Just because I don't need you to pay rent, don't mean you're not going to live here and not pay no rent. You just going and coming, just living off the fat of the land. Don't up nothing. Don't buy food. Don't pay a utility. Don't chip in for nothing. Just mess your money up running up and down the street. It's time for you to get out of the real world.
Some people don't want to do anything right. They live in your house. Even if you invest clothes on, as soon as you say pick it up, they come in and touch. And you tell them something, they tell them you stay out of my room. This is my room. That's all no room is yours. I pay for everything. Clean that bathroom so once. If you can't do it, then go find your home and live how you want to live. Certain people, they want the luxury of somebody existing themselves first, but they don't want to take on the responsibility of even if you are not financially in a position to assist from a certain level. You don't want to do nothing. You don't want to do laundry. You don't want to clean up. You don't want to shop. You don't want to cook. You just want to relax. You don't want to do anything. So it don't make a difference how much you have. If you allow somebody to live that way, they'll never switch that.
You better testify. And then I have heard some of these kids say, yeah, he don't give it to me, but he'll go out there and spend it on them women. He grown. That's his money. If he want to spend it on women, that's his business.
He ain't giving them none of your money. That's
He's not giving them none of your money. Good word. And, and let's be clear. I'm not saying that if you have a child and they out here doing everything they need to do and they just need a little bit of parental help, that you shouldn't help them if you can and you feel like it. But there's a difference in those that feel entitled. You entitled. Shoot, I'm your blood. Oh yeah, well guess what? I had to get it out the blood. Get it out my blood. Get out there and find your way. When my children got a certain age, I kept it in their head. You can't live with me forever. I'm not gonna pay your bills.
that same point. The same people is always want somebody to do something. I bet you 100 people in this chat will say the same people never call them and ask them if they need anything or if they okay. Every time you hear from them, they got the disease or the uveitis. They don't
Uh,
give you. They don't never call you and say, do you need help with anything? Are you okay? Do you need something? It's never like that. It's always what they can give you. And when you say you don't have it, it's a problem.
Come on, let's keep it real.
It's a problem from the gate. I don't have it at all.
Period. Let's keep it real. How many of us has grown up in a family where there's always the go-to person in the family, and 9 times out of 10 is you, and everybody know they can come to you and get something until they just burn you out. You get sick and tired of every time you look here somebody come, and as soon as you see a phone number, you already know they gonna start begging. Let's keep it real, and we're not even filthy rich people.
I don't know about it. But if you make it a constant and continuous thing, it's gonna stop. Everybody is just walking the road here. I'm aware of this. Myself included. So if every now and then you need some help
Sweetie Pie said, I'm out here. Yes, it's hard, but I pay my bills and make sure I have everything I need. Amen. And that's all you're required to do. Let me tell you something. You don't have to live high on the hog because your daddy or mama is a millionaire or a billionaire. You may not have that kind of money. They got money. You don't. So if you got to go live in the projects, and hallelujah, yes, I did say projects, and be able to pay your rent, you better get your butt on over to the projects and fix it up cute and make it work. Testify the queen. Hello, somebody. Get in them projects and clean them up, mind your business, and make it home. And I'm just saying that as an example because it ain't nothing wrong with living in the projects if that's what you have to do. And I say that for that reason because some people think that they above somewhere. If you got to take a step down and you lived in a mansion and you got to go live down the street in a regular house that may not be as lavishing, but hey, it's yours. Hey, sometimes you gotta get a little less to have something that belongs to you. Come on. Come on. When I got my first place, I thought I was grown, right? And one of my friend girls, she told me, she said, you know what? I know this man that's renting rooms. And he's been at me a room, right? He was a big old husky teddy bear looking man. And at the time, I was a real small girl. But I stood in authority when I talked to him. And I kind of wooed this man. He liked that I was, standing up and talking. And I knew how to sell myself, right? And I got in there. That was my first place. But I knew that wasn't my destination. I wanted my own. I didn't want to share because it was a shared room, like, kitchenette or whatever. Honey, I kept on going. And people would see me and they seen I wanted it and I was fighting for it. And they helped me get on my feet. You understand? So if you fighting for something and your mama or daddy is known and people see you out there in them trenches getting it out the blood, somebody out there is going to throw you a safety net. That's right. Sweetie Pie said a room in New York City is starting at $1,000. That's right. And rent is high everywhere, especially now. Even the utilities seem to be going up. We in a whole pandemic and everything is just rising, except them stimulus checks, right? Let's talk about it. But it's not always easy. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend it in because let me tell you something. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, okay? I resided for years in Red Hook Projects in Brooklyn, New York. You hear me? And when you walked into my apartment in that project, I had New York background on one wall, customized mirrors, carpets, leather furniture, domino floors. You understand? In the projects. I went in the projects and turned my apartment into a palace. You understand? If you're living in a cardboard box, make it your home. And people would come see me and they said, you need a house. They started speaking it over me. They said, girl, you need a house. You living like you in a house. And my little daughter, Lakia B, she went to Virginia. And we went to visit her grandmother on her dad's side. And she had a beautiful house. And we stayed out there about 2 weeks. And my baby kept saying, Mommy, I want a house. I want a house, right? And I told my baby, I said, let me tell you something. Mommy gonna get us a house. I said, if God be prepping my body, my aim is gonna be to get us a house. Never did I ever think God would bless me with 2 houses. So let me tell you something, honey. Always have faith, even when your face is on that ground. I was stepping over piss in the elevators to get to my apartment. You hear what I'm talking about? And I'm telling y'all this stuff because when people see you on the top, they automatically think that you fell from the top. I didn't fall from no top. I had to get it out that blood like everybody else. And Alex, you share some of your testimony. Well, don't tell it, tell it. But Alex is another example. let me tell you something. When you learn that there's another way other than fast money and dirty money, it ain't nothing more glorified when you can look back and say, I did this and I'm proud of myself. And sometimes we be our own worst enemy. And I'm not trying to live up to no billionaire expectation. Because if your daddy is a billionaire or a millionaire, he's not responsible to make sure you're a billionaire or a millionaire. But I'm going to say this too. If you have a parent and they a billionaire and a millionaire and you want some money, right? I'm going to tell you something that always won with my dad. If I came to him and I needed money and I had a game plan that was solid, I got it. So come with a game plan that's solid. I need it for this, Dad. My objective is this. If you give me this, this is what I'll be able to do. And execute it. Don't just be a talker. And then be able to come back one day and say, here, this is the money you gave me. And even though they may say that's like, I'm just proud of you. Go on. You showed them that whatever they gave you, you was able to take it and better yourself. They giving you millions of dollars and you just walking around like life is sweet until the rain starts, right? When you get in the storm, then all of a sudden you want an umbrella. That's the end of it.
Like I said, that girl did something. He didn't go giving you the world telling you get out of my house, don't ever come back. You did something to warrant that. I'm sure about that.
Neek, Neek. Welcome to the village, my chocolate angel. We got my Neek Neek in the house. Come on in here, Neek Neek. And let me tell you something, guys. Neek Neek is a mom, and she has beautiful children, and they still small, dependent children. And I'm sure that she will definitely understand a lot that we're talking about because Neek Neek just moved into her own apartment again, a newer place, and she's starting all over also with her family, her fiance and her children. So the question that I would have for you, Neek, oh, she's driving. I was going to ask her, as a young mom, not very young, but she's a young mom that's out here with her fiance, raising her children. Do you expect your parents to save you every time you are going through a crisis? And that goes for anybody. And if you're watching this on the playback, that's the question that I would like you to answer. Do you want your parents to save you every time you fall? Do they have to pick you up?
I'm looking at it like this, right? If I had a slowly open the road, I had most of everything I needed, but somehow I mismanaged something and fell a little short. I might ask to borrow something then, and that's embarrassing. If not, I'll just try to get it on my own. But if it's something I need to do right away, I'll just ask. And it's probably
Even when I'm with a man, I don't even want him asking for stuff. Figure it out. Yes. Figure it out. We have to figure it
if
out.
I had to ask somebody for some help, I would figure out how to get in that position. And what do you do to avoid getting back in that position? I went to my mother a few times. I had stuff lined up. It was just early in the morning, and I didn't have a chance to go do something. And I would ask her, can I hold this until late? And she would give it to me. Not
But
one
she
time
not getting ready to keep on giving you money neither. She'll help you.
did I not come back and hit her on your end. I had stuff going on. It was just stuff wasn't open at the time. And I needed a few hours right then and there. I mean, for some reason, I just felt something natural. But I was like, that and some.
Hold on, Alex. Hold on. Thank you for the super chat, Shanique Dreams, my chocolate angel. Thank you, Neek Neek. And Neek Neek said, no, I don't even ask my parents for anything. Do you see the key word, anything? Anything. Let me tell you something, right? I pride myself in that. And it's not in a derogatory way, it's in a responsibility way. It's not my parents' responsibility. My mother is in her 80s now. She got her own stuff that she's doing. And my mother is fly and she flies. She likes to buy and shop and do her own thing. She don't think nobody tugging on her pocketbook, begging and my crying because that's why they raised us to be independent, self-sufficient. self-sufficient. And it has to start in your children's youth. Just because you got money. Now, let me say this. If I say what's bad about you, I'll say what's good about you. The one thing that I will give T.I. and Tiny credit for, I know I have some issues with them, but T.I. and Tiny teach their children independence. They make their children work. Even that baby girl got her little nail polish line. King out there working. You understand? They teach them. Zanique is out on her own. You understand? Even Lil Wayne's daughter, Reginae Carr. Everybody, oh, she's so spoiled. But Reginae out there getting it. You understand? She's not solely dependent on her parents. Reginae get out there and try to find a way for herself. Just because you're a celebrity and got a fistful of dollars, do not mean that you don't have to teach your babies how to go out there and have their own purse. Get your own purse. Even with Russell Simmons and Run from Run DMC, Run Simmons, they taught their children, you're not getting ready to lay on me. Get out there and find a way. They had pastries. Angela and Vanessa and JoJo and them, Giggy, they working. They out there getting it. The best thing that I can say when it comes to the girls is they have their own. Nakia B recently moved out into her own home for the first time. She stayed with me for a good while. We stayed together, but she paid bills and she took care of her family. And she's out the door and she's dragging stuff over here more than I'm dragging it to her house. I promise you. Every time I look, my baby is coming, giving back. And my firstborn, the same thing. Every time I look, they're giving me something. You hear? And that's what we want to see in our children. Give back and stop always stacking and pouring and taking. Your parents done did so much. My dad didn't need money from me, but when I got of age, or my mom and I worked, I used to bring them money. I would buy them things. And they didn't want for nothing. And I would say, well, Dad, you want something? He would say no. When he smoked cigarettes, I would bring him a pack of cigarettes. And he would just smile like this girl. You understand? Sometimes we want you to give something back. Don't always come with your tail tucked doing bad. You see, this is the stuff people don't like about me because I keep it real. I love the Simmons family. Me too, me. Shout out to Nakia B and Miss Honey. Shout out. And Cell Study, what's up? Love Squad, what's up? And you're right. You got to teach them that. Alex is the kind of person, he won't even tell you he needs something. He really won't. And when you around Alex, you're never going to really spend no money because I got it. I got it. You got to literally say, Alex, I can pay for something. I got it, Alex. I can buy something today. Because he always going to step over you and pay for it. But as his little sister, I'm not going to just freeload off of my brother. When I come visit, you know, he takes care of me very well. But at the end of the day, I'm going to step up sometime and buy something. I don't care if it's nothing but water. We spoil each other. And Sweetie Pie, we the same way. When we get around each other, we hold each other down. I'm not going to sit here and just take advantage of her. She's not going to take advantage of me. If we all in the same circle, we going to eat. I got so many people that works with me right here on this network. We look out for each other. And then they got the nerve, while they messing their money up, to call you or post pictures showing them messing their money up. That gram be lit, right? Everybody got something going on Instagram, right? And Facebook. You go up there and you would think everybody had it going on. Next thing you know, you see the truth, right? Come on, stand up in some truth. Everybody fly. And teach your children that while they're small. I can remember my mom used to say to us, go do this for your dad. Go do that for your dad. We used to take him his snack or plate or cup or whatever if he was in the living room and he wanted something and she was in the kitchen. She would call one of us, take this to your father. She taught us to honor our dad. You understand? And our father taught us the same. Help your mother out. Get up off your behind and go help her do stuff. You don't just sit around and take advantage of your parents. The laundry need to be done, you go help wash them clothes. I see sometimes when people cleaning up and their kids and family just sitting around, one person doing everything. No, everybody get up and help out. You sleeping, you mopping. And then they got the nerve to tell you you look tired. You look tired. I am tired, you lazy mama being. If you get up off your lazy behind to help out, I won't be so worn out. Then when you start fussing and cussing, they get mad that you fussing and cussing. Everybody get up in this house and get to cleaning up. And see, when I would get like that, everybody was shaking and moving because they knew you were definitely going out that door next. Everybody just laying around. Shout out to Dr. Dre. Teach him tough love. Teach him how to get off their lazy behind and go do what they got to do. Because to his daughter, the best way to impress your father is by winning. He's showing you tough love. Get out there and win and let your dad see what you made of. Use it to empower yourself. When somebody push me into a rock, I come out fighting. I don't get mad and just sit down. I get mad and come out swinging. Use it to empower yourself. And I'm going to say this too. She grown. I'm saying it a little louder for the people in the back. She is grown. She's not a dependent. She's an adult child. You're not obligated to take care of adult children. If you want to take care of adult children, you can. But if you don't have to. And let me tell you something. I promise you, a lot of people from the islands will say she ain't never lied. Because one thing people in the islands ain't getting ready to do is sit up here and make their children think they're going to be a lazy mama bean and a lump on the log that's not going to do nothing in life but freeload and mooch off what their parents have. No, you better get your behind out there and figure it out. And then everybody you come around, you looking because you're a celebrity child for them to always give you something for free. Let me get a hookup. Them days is over, honey. Times is hard, it's real in these streets. The rich ain't rich. Uh, and even if he's not helping you, right? I always tell girls this, and y'all get up close so y'all can listen. Because daddies, they tough, but they got some weak spots too. And you gotta learn how to get in there and be like, well, daddy, I know you're trying to teach me a lesson, and I'm on the right track, and I did this to show you that I'm making an effort. But can you give me a little help just to help me get on up? And a lot of times, just because you said it like that, they don't look, and they may not even say yes at that moment. But in another couple of weeks, you look up and down and they'll be calling you on the phone saying, come get this little change. Or they may line you up with a job where you can make some money. And that's another thing. If you're out there struggling and you don't have it, instead of begging, go to your dad and say, Daddy, you know, I'm really trying to advance myself and I'm struggling. Can you give me a job, Daddy? Do you know somebody that may give me an opportunity? And put your best foot forward. Don't go in there acting privileged because they know your daddy and he's rich and famous. Then you think you can go around and ask them. Go in there and shine like a new penny.
That's all. And I think that some of the things that he say that he can pull off anything he wants about me with that. Just the fact that he feels good, I don't see this.
And sometimes you got to learn how to say, I'm sorry, too. I'm sorry. But mean it. But mean it. Learn what you did wrong. Because you're right. Nobody don't treat you like that for no reason that got a fistful of dollars. You can live off a billionaire interest. Easy. So by the time they say no, get out there and figure it out. Now I'm tired of you. Go figure. Go figure. Tough love is the best love you want to have. You hear me? Hold on a minute. Hold on. Hello, Bishop. And shout out to Michael Carter. Thank you for sharing me out, Michael. Rosalind said, learn from your mistakes and don't do it again. Don't do it again. And see, you see what Alice is saying? You got a lot of parents like that. And one thing I know about a dad is when you start to work on his last good nerve and you his daughter, you have outdated yourself. Because most dads don't see no wrong when it comes to their baby. So by the time you his daughter and you done work on his last good nerve, we already know you done outdated yourself. Come on, let's stand up to some truth. Because from the time a little girl is born, that's her daddy princess. And even though you may advance to being a queen to everybody else, you still always gonna be his little princess. So by the time your daddy say, that's it, don't you come back this way, I can't stand you, I can't stand your guts. Come on, y'all, let's be fair. And before we go any further, I want to make another special shout out. I want to make a special shout out to Kaylin Dowdy and Venetia Buckley. Shout out to y'all, and Kaylin, we are continuing to lift prayers for you in this village. May God continue to heal you totally in the name of Jesus. Hey, Bishop from Sweetie Pie. Totally. Let me tell you something. When you can't get an offering from nobody, and you in the industry, everybody know your daddy, and nobody said, let's throw this girl a life support. It don't look good for you. And the truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. You got to do right. Let me tell y'all, right? I got kicked out before for hanging out with my boyfriend. I tell y'all, I was a piece of work, right? And I was hanging out and breaking curfew and not coming in when I should, and my mama put my butt out, right? Go where you be grown at, because you can't do that here. So I packed up my little bag and went to my boyfriend's house, right? And his mama took me in, bless her heart, right? And now I'm over here and things ain't looking the way it was looking at my mama house, right? And now I want to go back home, but I don't know how to tell my mama I want to come back home. So I came to visit on a Sunday because I knew she was cooking chicken, right? My mama used to cook Sunday dinner every Sunday, right? And I was hungry, but I didn't want to tell her I was hungry as soon as I walked through the door, right? Because I'm thinking I'm grown, I'm going to kind of just rough it out. So when she finished cooking, she said, "Do you want to play?" She said, "You want to play?" I can't even tell the story without laughing. She said, "Do you want to play the food, right?" And I wanted to try to play it cool and be like, "Well, what got over there?" But I was watching the whole time she was cooking, and that food was smelling good, and my mama could throw down on some Sunday dinner, right? I was like, "Yes, ma'am." "Yes, ma'am." Boy, my mother was like, "Well, get up and wash your hands and fix your plate." I got up to fix that plate, and I know she knew I was hungry because I wanted to take my time. I was slopping that plate down like a pig, you hear me? And drinking up everything, burping everything. "Thank you, mama, for this plate." The car remarks, "Hello, shout out, shout out. Indonesia is in the house. God bless you too, my friend. God bless you, brother." Sakar is in the house. Y'all say hello to Sakar. And Alex, when we used to get kicked out, it would be funny because we would try to sneak back in. And somebody would try to open the door, let us in when they think she in the other end of the house or something. But if she happened to be walking and catch you back in there, she would put you back out. Oh, finally I begged my way back in. And I was kind of messing up in school too. And she told me, she said, "I'm going to let you back in, but you better go back and do what you got to do, and you better stop staying out all night. You're not grown." I was like, "Okay." And I knew the next time I leave that house to be a little more prepared, right? Oh, ain't nobody going to take care of you like your parents. I was used to eating all day. And when she said, "Get out," I was happy. Facts. I promise y'all, when you go somewhere else to stay, I don't care. It may be cool when you hanging out there, but when you start living there, you start learning stuff you didn't know when you were just hanging out there. And I was kind of spoiled in my parents' house. I was like, "I want to go back home. I miss being home. I better get my act together and get on back in there." And when I got back in that house, I was even glad to see my crazy siblings. You know how sometimes your sisters and brothers can get on your nerves? I was so happy to be back. I was glad to see them. I was talking my head off. But I bet you one thing, but we learned that you cannot think you're grown and you're not grown. And even if you're grown and you're not independent and self-sufficient, you're not grown. You still need some help. You humble yourself. You humble yourself and say, "Dad or Mom, I need help." And then when they help you, make it work. They keep helping you, paying your way, giving you money, and the only time they hear from you is when you're down on your luck. And come on, y'all, let's stand up for some truth. We know a lot of families like that. We got them in our own family, right? Every time you look, they got a situation. Oh, you get so tired of it as soon as you see them. What they said, Rashida done brought her family on the show. Lord help. I said, where they dug these people up from? On Love of Hip Hop. Rashida, did y'all see her family that they done dug up? I see why they kept them here. Oh, everybody came begging and broke down. Oh, yes. Gotta know it. Well, Alex, thank you so much for calling in. You was the amazing co-host of the day. Y'all say shout out to Alex though. Alex though always deliver and come in here and ride or die for his little sister. And I appreciate your input from a male's perspective because there's a lot of women that gives input. But I love, love, love when the guys come in because it's nothing like hearing things from a man's perspective and understanding how a dad can feel because men are people too, and so are dads. Thank you so much, Alex, and I love you. Thank you, and have a good day, Alex. Shout out to Alex, though. He deliver every single time, right? I love you, Alex. I love you. He is amazing. And the thing that a lot of people don't know about Alex, though, is he has a stern hand, but he is a very, very nice person. If he can help you, he'll help you, but he's not going to let you abuse him. And he even had gotten on me at times and told me, it's time for you to stop. It's time to stop. You are not obligated to take care of folks. And I want to be in place for people that genuinely needs my help. But I don't want people always calling me when they done dropped the ball, when they could have done the right thing. But I want to say happy Friday, everybody. This live stream was so amazing. And shout out to my cousin Linda Brown. Shout out to Sweetie Pie. I really enjoyed y'all coming in and y'all riding down with me. And it's just a good day. I haven't been here in a while. Blue Jays Network and comes in. Shout out. And thank you all that delivered with the super chat. I love you all. I know that times is hard in these streets. So if you give me one penny, I'm grateful. And I just want to say thank you all for your love. Even when I'm not here, y'all just hug me tight. And I hug y'all back tight. Shout out, everybody. Have a good weekend. If I don't see y'all between now and the end of the weekend, enjoy your hot girl summer. And remember, get your condoms, use protection if you're out there in the streets.